Okay. So, we are now 50% done with the game overall, and it's only taken me 5 segments to get this far, and now for episode 6 onwards to 10, we now have to do the reverse variants of each of these courses. And going to start off at Midfield Raceway, as of which that is of course the circuit where we are starting, and where we are using a DTM Audi TT, and we are officially heading to Midfield Reverse. So it's basically every single course again, except for saying this time they're all in reverse. So we need a 1 minute 14 for a gold, a 118 for a silver, and a 125 for a bronze. Let's do this. And where I'm pretty sure this will not take me too long to achieve the gold, so yeah, let's do it. And see how we go. So, already up into the first hairpin this time. And now heading down into the second hairpin as we go across the bridge. As of which, in terms of altitude, the bridge is quite a long way up from where the front stretch is located. There is quite a difference in altitude, I would like to say, once you dip below that bridge. Anyways, across the line and got the gold by 2 seconds. With 2 seconds to spare, easy gold. And apparent as it might be for me at least, they are proving to be easy golds. So anyways, there we go. Easy gold in the DTM Audi TT. And I'm pretty sure this is the DTM Audi TT. Anyways. So for achieving the bronze, we get a Toyota RSC. And for achieving the gold, is this the Nissan Micra Cup car or something? It is. The Nissan MMR Cup car is what this is called, to be specific. Right. The time trial is down, let's now get to the racing. Back to the normal level once again, and this time to course number 6. And I've only really driven one European car up to this point, so I think it's only appropriate for me to drive another one. And I think the one I'm going to use is the Jag, although I do wonder. Well, I've driven in most of these colours up to this point, just trying to think about. You know what? Yeah, let's race in red for this, because, well, I do want to see if I can get a reasonable shot of the Jag. And we have the NSX prototype in this race. But it's fine, because this is the normal level. And for the rest of our competition, we have a Merc CLK 55 along with a Ford Mustang and also a Chevrolet Camaro SS and already starting to move up the packing order. Oh yeah, and a Corvette Gran Sport is the field for this race. And as I would have easily expected, straight up to the front, almost lost the rear there for a moment, but thankfully I did catch it before it was too late, and I already have a 2.4 second lead on the Mustang. And I'm pretty sure I will spin out at least once in this race before it's all said and done. And my prediction was correct. I did a full 360 there. But it's fine, because apparent as it might be, the rest of the field was far enough behind me to basically not catch up to me when I spun out. As in, like, I spun, but apparently the spin was not enough for them to take the lead away from me. Anyways, one lap down and one to go. And wait a minute. Is that the NSXR concept that's in this race? Is that what I just saw there? I got a feeling that's what I just saw there. I'm pretty sure I did. But you know. I just figured I'd drive the Jag because, well, I've not really driven a lot of concept cars up to this point. Sorry, not a lot of European cars up to this point. So I figured I might as well do it for the Brits. Of course, not doing this in green because, well, I prefer to be independent. And through the final sequence of corners we go. And 17 seconds now to the NSX concept, as which I'm pretty sure that's the NSX Type R concept. And there we go. Let's now wait for everybody else to finish. Alright, there we go. Everyone has finished. So it was the NSXR concept who finished in second ahead of the Merc CLK 55. Then the Mustang was fourth ahead of the Corvette, and it was the Camaro who finished off the classification order. And now, because I want to, I am going to save the replay. Alright, one race down and still two to go. And so, for winning the normal race we get another Toyota Castrol Tom's Supra. I still prefer the original one. I mean, this version isn't bad, but at the same time, it's not quite as good looking as the other one. Anyways, onto the pro race. And where I think I will use another European car. And as to which one I'll use, well, have a look. What other ones have we got here? I wonder. Well, just use the Jag, so not going to use that again. Yeah, let's use the roof. Let's use the roof RGT. And for our competition, we have an Aston Martin Vanquish, a head of a Lotus Esprit, a Nissan GTR Concept, the road car, an Audi RS6 limousine, and a Chevy Corvette. Here we go for Race 2 at Midfield Reverse. And it is go. And the Corvette's attempting to throw a block on me, but of course it wasn't going to work because I was already in the spot he was trying to defend and already manoeuvring up into second position already. Of course, this is technically a tuned car, and the GTR Concept is trying to look for the lead. The Vanquish goes in to throw the block, he dives deep. He's also blocking the GTR Concept, but he just got double passed by both me and the Nissan GTR, as of which both of us are now past him and we can basically focus on our own race. And so it continues. The waging war continues. Across the line we go, and I now already build up to a 3.2 second lead. Although that's inevitably going to shrink now because I just went into the concrete barrier. Because this thing is rear transmission, rear wheel drive. And couldn't tell who that was, but I think it was my dad who just slammed my window shut. I think it actually flustered me for a moment. But yeah, someone definitely slammed my window shut. Anyways. Ignoring that and focusing on the race itself, I now have a 1.3 second lead over the GTR Concept, so this could still be interesting. Judging by what's already happened up to this point, he is keeping up pretty well. Judging from what I can see here. And I'm only really able to pull up to a maximum of about 3 seconds in that final sector, but apparently for the rest of the lap, the GTR is able to keep up with me pretty good. He's not letting me pull away with this thing by too much. At least it doesn't appear to be that way at the moment. Yeah. Well, it's only about under 4 seconds from myself to the GTR, so he's not too far behind. But as for the rest of the pack, we're basically leaving them in the dust. Even though, because I forgot this thing is rear-wheel drive, there is also a lot of oversteer, which technically means I have more vulnerability to the gravel sections, or sand, if you will. Well, grass or sand, whichever one you think is more suitable. Thankfully, he was not right on my ass when I made that mistake, and I'm quite sure this is probably going to be an easy win. And indeed it is. And I was less than a tenth off beating my personal best, in spite of all the slipping and sliding. 2.6 seconds was the overall winning margin to the GTR concept. Then we had the Vanquish in third, the Esprit was fourth ahead of the Corvette, and then at the back it was the Audi. Anyways, time for the Ace Race, as you get a look at my remarkable trophy. And I'm pretty sure I do have a replay already saved. And is this car going to be the Nissan GTR concept? Coincidentally, yes it is. Literally, the car we just beat, we end up winning from this race. That is unbelievable. Anyways, time for the Ace Race. And I think because I want to, I'm going to use the GTR concept race car, because apparently this is the race car variant of the car I just won, if that makes any sense. But yeah, I just want to use this thing. And in terms of our opponents, we get a Mobil 1 NSX, along with the Dodge Viper GTSR, the Mazda RX-8 LM, a Toyota Castrol Toms Supra, and the AU Sarumo Supra. Here we go for the third and final race of Midfield Reverse. Already beginning to make up for lost time, but also stepping on the brakes early because of how wide this thing is. Because my god, this thing is a fat boy, is what this thing is. This thing is big, and in terms of its width, I would say it is fat. This is definitely one of the big boys when it comes to size compared to all the rest. And trying to make an enticing maneuver, but not able to persevere on that occasion, even though I am desperately trying to get myself up the order. Gonna have to pull off the dive bombs here if I'm gonna achieve any shots at success. I almost lost the rear end there for a moment. I would have honestly thought for sure that could have spun me into the pits, but somehow it did not spin me onto the pit lane. And we are 3 abreast, heading into turn 1. I knew for sure that was not going to work, but somehow I still attempted it anyway, because I thought for sure I was going to seal the deal. And yep, this is definitely proving to be harder. Also furthermore, the RX-8 is proving to be one worthy opponent. Is definitely proving to be a worthy opponent. Really trying to keep a hold of this thing. And I have now managed to do that, even though this thing is rear-wheel drive. And I appear to be keeping this thing in contention for the win, as we now come down the backstretch once again, and into the lead I go. This has been a pretty interesting race to say the least. with the RX-8. And apparently there might be... one of my main struggles from this event is apparently oversteer. And trying to see if I can look for any potential maneuvers on the inside and not managing to look for the maneuver, but eventually able to still make it back up into the lead anyway. As we now come to the end of lap 3, the RX-8 is right on my ass. He's literally coming at me like Jaws, more or less. If I ever had a moniker to call that RX-8, it would probably have to be Jaws. It's basically small boy versus fat boy in this instance. Of course, me technically being the fat boy in this instance, whereas the RX-8 is the slim boy. Even though with me realistically I'm actually not that fat. Or at least not necessarily as fat as you viewers might claim me to be. But yeah, I mean, when I said fat I was referring of course to the car because this thing is massive compared to all the other cars I've seen in terms of length. Anyways, final lap, and I now hold a 1.3 second lead over the Mazda as it currently stands. And shifting up into third before I spin the tyres. And it looks as though I am now starting to separate myself from the Mazda. Of course, this race is not over yet. It's not over until I know it's over. And through into the final section we go. Just hoping this will be a clean section and not necessarily being reminiscent of the mistake I made earlier. And no such mistakes this time around. And onto the start finish straight, and a new best lap time by 0.8 of a second. Also winning the race in the end by 2.3 seconds. So then we had the Castrol Supra in third, followed by the Viper. Then we had the other Supra in fifth, and at the back it was the Mobil 1 NSX. And to be completely honest, for a majority of that race, from a practical standpoint, I would have said that was actually a pretty good race. And I'm pretty sure I already have a replay saved, so ain't gotta worry about that. And so, there we go. That is both sides of Midfield Raceway now done. And next up will be Tokyo Reverse. All I have to do now is just go back and save the game. Hold up. Oh, okay. Sorry, I thought for sure I saw something there for a moment, but probably just my eyes playing their usual tricks on me. Anyways. 1 down, 4 to go.